We've seen the good, the bad, and the ugly there. But there could only be one Godfather if you ever say the word to someone. In a Pacino. The veteran A-lister has won many awards and honors over the years, which set him on the path he would follow for the rest of his life. You might not expect it, but this actor's life is much sadder than you think. We'll look at Al Pacino's life and times in today's film. We'll let you know later about a surprising change in the Scarface actor's life. The well-known actor had a humble starting before he became the Godfather. Let's look at the young life of the would-be actress. Alfredo James Pacino was born on April 25, 1940, in Manhattan, New York. He was born to Rose and Salvatore Pacino and was their only child. His parents were from Sicily, Italy, and came to the U.S. to make a better life for themselves. Their marriage didn't last long, which was sad. They split up. He was 2 years old at the time, and he lived in the South Bronx with his biological grandparents. This was a tough time to grow up here, so it's not a surprise that Sonny got into a lot of fights with the boys in the neighborhood. As a child, it was impossible to deny how appealing Pacino was. He made friends quickly and they all called him Sonny. He even became known as an actress at such a young age. The future actor used to want to be a baseball player, which is not like him now. But it was clear even back then that playing was his calling. Pacino had trouble focusing on school, just like a lot of other kids. To be honest, he only went to English class at Herman Ridler Junior High School until he quit. Even though his mother didn't like it, he tried acting and got into the High School of Performing Arts. A fight broke out between the mother and son, and the young Pacino ran away. Since he had no one to help him, he chose to work different jobs, from messenger boy to janitor, to make money. Pacino didn't have any parents to guide him because he left his mother's house when he was young. He was introduced to many things as a child. Can you believe he smoked and drank before he was 9 years old? Yes, he did. He also used Mary Jane for fun from time to time. Good thing he didn't do hard drugs, because that probably saved his life. 2 of his best friends died from, which is why he didn't vote on that issue. He started playing and found that he liked it. His first job was at Actors Studio. He thought he had a chance because he was already playing in New York's underground theater scene. He wasn't chosen, which was a shame, but it didn't stop him from following his interest. So he went to HB Studio to try out, and they welcomed him with open arms. Here, he got better at acting with the help of Charlie Hilton, who later became his best friend and acting coach. He had a hard time because he lived on the streets, in the theater, or with friends. But he kept going anyway. Al Pacino's life took a turn for the worse when his mother died suddenly. It was one of the worst times of his life. Following that, his maternal grandpa passed away. He almost fell into sadness. He focused all of his strong feelings on acting, which was a good thing. The aspiring actor spent 4 years at HB Studio. He then chose to try again at Actors Studio, and this time he got in. Their help, especially acting coach Lee Strasberg, made Al Pacino even better at what he already did so well. Here is also where he learned method acting, which helped him understand his roles better and give a more intense performance when he was acting. Who would have thought that a South Bronx man who was sometimes homeless would grow up to be one of the best artists of all time? Everything in its time. Al Pacino's early career, on the other hand, was built on working with some of the most amazing people he would meet. With what he had learned from both Hilton and Strasberg, Pacino started getting roles one after the other. Pacino was busy acting at the Charles Playhouse in Boston, so all of his hard work paid off. He got parts in 2 plays, Awake and Sing by Clifford Odets and American Hera by Jean-Claude Van Italie. From the 2, the first one gave the actor his first big paycheck, $125 a week. In his early 20s, he worked in theater and kept the ball going. At that time, his biggest role was in Israel Horowitz's It's Called Sugar Plum. The first award that Al Pacino won was an Obie Award for Best Acting. Martin Bregman got to see Pacino's playing skills for himself because of this play. They became partners because they liked his work, with Bregman managing him and telling him to take on the biggest job of his life, which changed the course of his career. After that, Pacino stepped up to a bigger stage and made his Broadway debut in the play Does a Tiger Wear a Necktie? Getting a Tony Award for his work made him want to take on more difficult tasks. He also got a Drama Desk Award and a Tony Award for his work on Pavlo Mel's Basic Training. In the early 1990s, Al Pacino had already made a name for himself as a famous actor, which led him to switch from theater to movies. His first movie role was in the short film Me Natalie, which came out in 1969. His first full-length movie role was in The Panic in Needle Park, which came out in 1971. A lot of these movies have been lost over time and are only remembered by die-hard fans of the actor. What made his name in Hollywood, though, is his next job. The actor had no idea that his next project would make him famous all over the world after appearing in his first full-length movie. He got the part of Michael Corleo in Francis Coppola's The Godfather. But did you know that Pacino didn't have an easy time getting the part? The management wasn't too interested in the new star. At the time, Pacino had only been in one full-length movie. Robert Evans, who was in charge of production at Paramount Pictures, was determined to make The Godfather a huge hit. He wanted someone big, both physically and figuratively, to play the part. Coppola was set on having Pacino play the part, though, even over Jack Nicholson, Warren Beatty, and Robert Redford, who were all well-known actors. And Evans and the rest of the management thought Pacino was too short for them. Even though it was a tough discussion with a lot of back and forth, Pacino got the part of Michael Corleo. It was one of the best casting decisions ever. The Academy nominated Pacino for a Supporting Actor Award for his role, which made the star angry. That makes sense, since he had more screen time than his co-star Marlon Brando. A lot of people thought that the fact that Brando was also up for Best Acting by the Academy was making Pacino angry. Both guys chose not to go to the award show in the end. As was already said, Pacino felt insulted when he was nominated for a Supporting Character Award. While there are no reliable sources that say why Brando didn't show up to the award show either. Tabloids in the area said that it was because the two stars didn't get along. As well as the roles he played that people will remember, Al Pacino is also known for the parts that were almost roles that became iconic and helped a lot of movie stars become famous. Han Solo from George Lucas's Star Wars is one example. Harrison Ford played the part of Han Solo. He said that he didn't understand the story because it was mostly sci-fi as an excuse. Besides these, he also turned down Apocalypse Now and Close Encounters of a Third Kind. It was a surprise that he was also considered for the male lead roles in Pretty Woman and Beverly Hills Cop, but those jobs went to Richard Gere and Eddie Murphy instead. That distant actor wouldn't seem right as those kinds of parts, and he was right to say that some roles aren't right for him. Given how poor he was born and how hard his life has been, you'd think the famous star would value his fame and money, right? You would not believe how Al Pacino is living now. Place a dot. A person who is quickly given a huge amount of money usually doesn't know how to handle it properly. People who were famous and well-known have been left with debt, and Al Pacino was one of them, at least for a while. The actor wrote about his lavish lifestyle in his autobiography, Sonny Boy, a memoir. He said he wasted money on things he didn't need, like 2 fancy cars, multiple cell phones, and even 2 homes, the upkeep for which cost him $400,000 a month. The truth hit him hard when he checked his bank account and saw that he only had about $90,000 left. In any case, the character knew he was stupid and that he contributed to his pain. He didn't have much cash on hand, but he owned a lot of properties and had to pay a huge debt. I didn't know how money worked any more than I knew how a career worked, Pacino wrote in his autobiography. It was a language I didn't speak, Pacino said. In 2011, he had his worst year ever. He made the mistake of hiring an accountant who had been running a Ponzi scheme. This got the accountant caught and sent to jail. Pacino said that he had $50 million in the bank and a huge list of bills to pay. He took on projects, any projects, just to get his money back on track after this financial mess. In those days, one of his problematic projects was the comedy Jack and Jill, which he did with Adam Sandler. Rotten Tomatoes gave the movie a 3% rating, which means that most people didn't like it. There were a lot of shocked Pacino fans. They knew the actor was picky about the parts he took on and felt good about himself. Because of this, his role in a badly written comic movie was a stain on his otherwise perfect filmography. Worse yet, he played a character that was an overblown version of himself, which made people cringe at his attempt at comedy. Even though Jack and Jill didn't do well at the box office, Pacino was proud of the movie and said he did what he had to do to get out of debt. Pacino also had only good things to say about his co-star Adam Sandler. He didn't care about the bad reviews of Jack and Jill. Pacino did more than just act. He also did commercials, gave seminars, and even sold one of his homes to pay off his bills. Even though it took a while, Pacino is now financially stronger. He learned a hard lesson from the mistakes he made in the past. He also scored a number of lucrative deals, such as a deal with HBO that pays him a good $10 million per movie and a $20 million paycheck for his work in the 2019 movie The Irishman. Even though he worked on many projects, Al Pacino said that his work on Scarface was the one that helped him stay afloat when he was having money problems. He even said in his autobiography that he could have lived off the money from that movie if he had been a normal guy. In addition to The Godfather, Scarface was the only other crime movie that hip-hop fans still really liked. This shows how influential and popular the movie has been over the years. According to the BBC, Pacino himself said that he would have rather won an Oscar for playing Tony Montana in the movie than a blind soldier in Scent of a Woman, where he won the award for Best Actor. Even though Al Pacino is well known, he likes to keep his personal life quiet. That includes his friends and family. There is some false information that gets passed around by reporters, but everyone knows that the star never got married. Watch this video to learn about his past relationships. You might be shocked by who he is now. Many of Pacino's co-stars were his girlfriends, but Jill Clayburgh was the first Hollywood girlfriend he is known to have had. They were together for a while before the actor's rapid rise to fame in 1972, thanks to The Godfather. He quickly went out with co-star Tuesday Weld for a short time before moving on to Marta Keller. When it came to Keller, they were like cat and dog. They were not exactly friendly while Bobby Deerfield was being filmed. There was just a need for time for them to get to know each other. Once they were together for 2 years, Pacino finally went on to Diane Keaton. The second one fell in love with her co-star, whom she finds charming, funny, and always talking. She told everyone why she was mad at him. But their relationship was pretty rough, just like his other relationships with women. Keaton even made a choice and pushed for marriage. But the star wouldn't commit, so she broke up with him. Even though they had a rough relationship when they were kids, the two stars are still friends. After Keaton, Pacino started dating acting coach Jan Tarrant. She also gave birth to his first child, a girl named Julie Marie, in 1989. They didn't make their relationship very public, so not many people knew about it. What we do know is that Julie Marie is close to her father and became an actress like him. From then on, he dated Australian hostess and producer Lindell Hobbs and was related to Penelope and Miller, who played his co-star in Corrido's Way. Pacino was also with Beverly D'Angelo, and on January 25, 2001, he had twins that he named Anton and Olivia. She even got a split from her first husband so she could be with Pacino, but even the Dog Day Afternoon couldn't commit to her. Even though they broke up in 2004, they are still friendly. After Lucila Pack, an Argentine actress, Pacino went on to date someone else. Pacino was a great teacher for Pack's daughter Camila Morone, but their friendship didn't go any further. Pacino quickly went back on the dating scene and found a great partner in Israeli actress Mittel Dohan. They were seen together in 2018, but they broke up in 2020, with Dohan saying that they were no longer together because of their big age difference. Many people were shocked when the 83-year-old actor became a father for the fourth time on June 15, 2025, to his 31-year-old lover Noor Al-Fallah. A 53-year age difference between them shocked some people, but they didn't care. But, according to one of his reps, Pacino is no longer dating Al Fala, just like he isn't with any of his other partners. His lawyer quickly added that the two are still good friends and have been co-parenting their son Roman for years. Even though the star was still in good health for his age, Pacino almost died of CO-19. He told CNN last year that he almost died of it. In one moment he was having a hard time, and in the next he had no pulse. Lucky for him, his helper called for help right away, and an ambulance got to his house right away to help him. The actor wasn't aware that he was surrounded by 6 firemen and 2 doctors for a few minutes before he could wake up. He told people later that he had thought about dying back then and had many other thoughts about the future. Even though Al Pacino is well past his senior year, he has no plans to stop anytime soon. In fact, the trailer for his newest movie, The Ritual, came out not long ago and shows the veteran actor in a classic outfit instead of his normal mafia outfit. Pacino will play Father Theophilus in the movie, and he will have to work with Dan Stevens' character, Father Joseph Steiger, whose faith isn't stable. They are joined by Abigail Cowan and Ashley Greene as well. Just from the trailer, we knew there would be some pretty sad and bloody scenes, as well as body horror, as seen in clips with Abigail Cowan's character Emma. The Ritual will be shown in theaters for the first time on June 6, 2025. It was directed by David Mell. People say that the movie is based on a real story and that it is even called the scariest exorcism in American history. He also talked about his ideas for the future of the business. To be honest, he doesn't mind if AI is used to make people like him long after he's gone. Pacino told his children that he believes them and that they'll take care of it. Many well-known actors make a big deal out of what roles they can and cannot play, but the actor who played The Godfather just said he doesn't care. Regarding the business itself, Al Pacino thinks that Los Angeles would not be possible without movies. Even though the last one's most recent movie, Megalopolis, bombed at the box office, he thinks that it will live on thanks to the work of Martin Scorsese, Quentin Tarantino, and Francis Coppola. He says that Leonardo DiCaprio and Adam Driver are 2 stars who he really looks up to for the future.